3, 2, 1. Hello folks, welcome to OTD, also known as On the Deck. My name is Adam Arduna, this is my mom Gina, and today we are exclusively talking about the NCAA tournament, which just came out with the seedings last night. And so we're going to go ahead and just jump right into the South region of the tournament. This is bracketology. We're going to do our show with bracketology, and so we're going to go ahead and start with the South region. We got number 1 KU playing Austin Peay. I don't really think this is going to be much of a matchup. It's going to be fun because it's the opening rounds, and so they're going to just be a lot of excitement, but I think KU is just too strong for Austin Peay.
No reason to talk about this one, KU.
Okay.
All right, next up we've got number 8 Colorado versus number 9 UConn. I'm going to tell you, I'd probably be inclined to pick Colorado. I didn't see a ton of the Pac-12 games this year, but I did get to see UConn and Cincinnati battling it out in 4 overtimes, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, they're not going to have legs tomorrow when they play Temple. UConn not only had legs, they had legs for days. So I am very impressed with this team. I'm going UConn here.
Yes, I'm also going UConn, and the way that they finished that championship game against Memphis was a big time statement. Yeah, there's a lot of momentum carrying over from that Cincinnati game, the 4 overtime. We all watched the miraculous shot. I just think Kevin Ollie and UConn is just too good, and I think UConn's going to have their hands full with Colorado, though. It's not going to be an easy.
Yeah, it's not going to be a walk in the park.
8, 9 seeds are usually pretty tough.
That's a good games to watch.
Yes. Okay, then we've got number 5 going against number 12 seed, Maryland versus South Dakota State. This is going to be interesting because everyone always talks about Cinderellas, but I just think Maryland's too strong. Melo Trembo and Suleiman for the guard play for Maryland is just too good. I think they're going to win that one.
I don't think there's a lot to talk about here. Maryland all the way. I agree with you. No Cinderellas this year. Maryland's going to take it. Pretty easy game, I think, for them.
Yes.
All right, well, then next you've got number 4 Cal versus number 13 Hawaii. Well, if I didn't watch a ton of Pac-12, I watched 0 Hawaii. I have no idea what they have to offer. This is just a total wing it. I don't think it's too much of a gamble to say Cal, so I'm just going to go with Cal.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Cal is a better overall team than Hawaii. I did get a chance to watch Hawaii play in their conference championship game, the Big West championship game against Long Beach State. They looked good. They are a good team. They're scrappy. They have a couple guards that are pretty good. They've got a kid that can shoot. His name is Yankovic. But I just think Cal's an overall better team. But it could be a matchup that people might want to circle and watch for that first round game against Cal and Hawaii. Well, but I think Cal's too good.
Yeah, I think when you're a team like Hawaii, what do you got to lose? Come in there, give it your all.
Exactly.
Speaking of nothing to lose, we've got the first bunny bracket. You've got basically 2 number 11 seeds. You've got Vanderbilt and Wichita State. Here's the thing. I don't think this is the same Wichita State team of the past, but I do think that they have something to offer here. I did watch Northern Iowa bounce them out of the Missouri Valley tournament, but I still think they're solid, and I don't think it's going to be too much of a toss-up between them and Vanderbilt, but I am going to go with Wichita State in the bunny bracket.
I'm going to go with Wichita State as well. I think Vanderbilt's a good team coming out of the SEC. I think it's a really tough draw for both teams, but I do think that Wichita State kind of has their own little it factor, this kind of mystique about them. That's just why they usually do well in the tournament. Ron Baker and Fred Van Fleet are seniors, and they've been here before, and I just think that they're not going to go out quietly, and so I think Wichita State's going to get that in the early bunny brackets against that one.
Well, here's the funny part, because either one of them's going up against number 6 Arizona, so I don't think it's going to matter. I'm picking Arizona in this round.
I totally agree. I think Arizona is just too strong for either team, and I think they're going to go ahead and win that one. So Arizona's advancing. Okay, then we've got Miami versus Buffalo, number 3 versus number 14 seed. Miami's a really good team coming out of the ACC. They've got a couple transfer kids that have come in and really juiced up this team. They're really fast, really athletic. They like to jump and run and get out there and play, and so I really think Miami's probably going to get this one.
Now, when you say transfers, isn't there a K-State transfer down to Miami?
Yeah, there's a former Wildcat that played for K-State. Yes, his name is Angel Rodriguez, really good guard, can score, can see the floor, and I just think he's going to lead them to victory in this one.
No, I'm with you. I'm Miami all the way there. Number 7 versus number 10, Iowa versus Temple. Okay, I'll be honest. If this bracket had come out a month and a half ago, I'd have just been Iowa. I watched them in the Big Ten. I thought they started out really strong. I thought they could be contenders for the Big Ten title, and then I've just watched them. I don't want to say slump. I just think they might have peaked. And then I'm looking at Temple, who I think is really in great stride right now. I think you've got to peak in March, and I think Iowa peaked early. I'm going Temple here.
That's a really good point, and I agree with you. I think Iowa just isn't very dynamic, and they're a good team. They're well coached. They don't do a lot of things that put them in bad positions, but when you talk about tournament time, it's all about being dynamic. It's about guard play, and it's about making plays, and I just don't see Iowa fully taking advantage of that. And I think Temple actually is really doing a good job this year, and I think they're really hitting their stride right now as well. So then we've got the number 2 seed against number 15 seed Villanova versus North Carolina Asheville. And right now, I just don't see anyone beating Villanova until at least the Final Four.
Well, I definitely don't see
earlier.
I don't see North Carolina Asheville beating Villanova.
Yeah, I don't see
so
them,
that's a no.
Yeah.
So I got Villanova. You got Villanova.
Yes.
There you go. So do your rundown. Who did we advance here?
We have KU versus UConn. We have Maryland versus Cal, Arizona versus Miami, Temple versus Villanova.
All right, we're on the same page.
Yes.
All right, well, I think I get the first pick this time. So you got KU, UConn. As much as I love UConn, I think they're my heart team right now. KU is going to win. They are just top to bottom one of the best teams right now. I got KU.
Yeah, I totally respect Kevin Ollie. I really like the UConn Huskies. I just don't think they have enough in the tank to quite take down the KU Jayhawks and Bill Self.
Yep.
So when we've got Maryland going up against Cal, this is going to be a very good game as well. Up and down, good teams, both coming out of good conferences. Both deserve to be in the tournament. I like Maryland in this. Like I said, I do like Melo Trimble and Suleiman at the guard play for Maryland. I think they've really done a good job this year, and I believe they'll go ahead and beat Cal.
I'm right on board with you. I've got Maryland here. I think they're scrappy. I think they came out of a really tough, very athletic conference. I know the Pac-12 has got, everyone's giving them props. I think they're maybe a sleeper conference, but I'm going Maryland here too. Okay, next we've got Arizona and Miami. I think this is a little bit of a tough one. Just as I just put a little bit of heat and hate on the Pac-12, I do think that Miami's playing good dynamic ball, but I think Arizona has been here before. They're a tournament team, and I think they just know how to win when you get in these kind of situations. So I'm actually going to pick a little bit of the upset. I'm going with Arizona here.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a huge upset, but I definitely think Arizona's a better team. I think they're playing better, and I just like what Arizona has to offer, and so I'm going to go with Arizona in that one. Okay, then we've got Temple and Villanova. Got the battle of the brotherly love city right there. The city of brotherly love, Temple versus Villanova. It's going to be a really fun game to watch for that whole city and for the whole region, really. And I just think that Temple may have kind of given all that they had against Iowa, and I think Villanova is just overall a better team.
Yeah, and I don't think you consider this a rivalry, even though they're they share a city. I don't think this is a rivalry game for either one of them.
Right.
I just think Villanova overall, top to bottom, is the better team. So I'm also going Villanova.
Sure.
So that gets us to a KU Maryland, Arizona Villanova matchup here in the South.
Yes.
So I think you're first this time.
Yes, okay, I'll take the first pick. Well, we do have KU and Maryland, both good teams, both very strong. I just think KU is just playing the best, as we continue to say. Bill Self, all of their guard play, Perry Ellis as a senior. I just don't see KU dropping this game.
Well, we could prolong this, but I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off. It's KU all the way. I don't think Maryland has the depth to stick with a team like KU. They're just the #1 overall team this year, and I think the first 5, if they're not getting it done, you can go to the bench and you're going to get it done. So I have KU here. Right. Then we've got Arizona Villanova. I think that's going to be a really good game. I really do, and I think it's a bit of a toss-up game right now for me, but I am leaning towards Villanova. I got to watch them quite a bit towards the end of their season and going into tournament time. I really think that they are smooth. That's one of those words you don't hear all the time in basketball, but they're smooth. They have a very good rhythm with one another, and although Arizona's been there, done that, I'm picking Villanova, because you talk about a team that's been there, done that too. So I'm going Villanova here.
I'm also taking the Villanova Wildcats over the Arizona Wildcats. I just think Villanova's playing better basketball. They're really well coached, and I think they've got something to prove. So I'm going to go with Villanova as well.
All right, so we've got KU versus Villanova battling out for that spot in the South.
Yes.
I'll let you have the last word, so I'll go forward.
Okay.
Again, I think Villanova's playing great ball. I think they're smooth. I think they play good team ball, but the best team ball right now is KU. They are senior heavy. They've got experience. This is just their time. And you talk about hitting your stride. They've had their stride the whole season. They never got out of stride, and I don't see them missing here. So I'm going KU here to represent the South.
I'm also going to go KU. I do think Jay Wright's really got the Villanova Wildcats rolling, but Bill Self and that arsenal of players that they have, they're deep, coming out of the Big 12, which is, my opinion, the best basketball conference in the country. And I just think equally the Big East is also there's a lot of great teams in the Big East.
Absolutely.
But I just think that KU is just too strong this year. They're playing like the #1 team, and I do believe they are the #1 team, and I think they're going to come out of the South. as the #1 seed and going into the Final Four.
Final Four.
So
Yeah.
it's going to be fun. I think all of these games right now are very, very close, and there shouldn't be any blowouts for the most part. I think it's going to be very fun to watch. For
ready
all the
for the
fans.
madness.
Yeah, ready for the madness. So we're coming back with more bracketology. We've got the South region taken care of. We're going to come back with more of the teams that we're going to go ahead, more of our picks, and it's going to be fun. Well, we appreciate your time. Thanks for watching.